What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we got a brand new video. This time with some drama in the crypto world with Charlie Munger. Who would have thought? The guy who's hated Bitcoin and crypto since it was created continues to hate it, and has had a really bad interview talking about it. So we'll look at all of that and what he had to say. But before we get into that, if you are not subscribed, make sure to smash that sub button because we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But let's jump right into this interview with Charlie Munger. You can see Yahoo Finance exclusive saying the Berkshire Hathaway Charlie Munger says he is proud to not have invested in crypto, compares it to some venereal disease or something I just regard as beneath contempt. So I'm sure this is probably everyone's grandpa who, when the internet came out, was complaining about it and it was nothing. It was just going to ruin everything. So pretty much the exact same vibes here. But everybody should have expected this from Charlie Munger. It's literally what he does. He's always hated Bitcoin, him and Warren Buffett. But if you look at Warren Buffett's most recent investment of $1 billion into a bank that has Bitcoin exposure, he's getting exposure to Bitcoin. So, you know, look at their actions, not really what they're saying.
Charlie, crypto was another question that I got a lot of. I'll ask this one from Carl Moscatello, who says, crypto is a $2 trillion asset class. Are you willing to admit you missed something?
Well, I certainly didn't invest in crypto. I'm proud of the fact I've avoided it. It's like, some venereal disease or something. I just regard it as beneath contempt. Some people think it's modernity and they welcome a currency that's so useful in extortions and kidnappings and so on, tax evasion. And of course the envy, everybody has to create his own new currency. And I think that's crazy too. So I'm not having any, I wish it had been banned immediately. And I admire the Chinese for banning it. I think they were right and we've been wrong to allow it.
So, wow, a lot of insane, crazy things said in there. Like starting with saying, kidnapping, tax evasion. So apparently, before Bitcoin, there was no such thing as tax evasion. You crazy? Before Bitcoin, no such thing as kidnapping. That didn't happen. No such thing as extortion. That couldn't happen without Bitcoin. Not to mention Bitcoin's an open public ledger that anyone can trace the transaction. So if you did a crime, everyone can follow you on that transaction and trace you down. So it seems like the best place to do crimes, where people can openly follow everything and track it down. That's a place I would want to do crime, where people could track it down very easily. Cash is what's used for crime. That's what has always been used for crime. That's what continues to be used for crime. Bitcoin has some people that do bad things with it. Every single thing in the world has groups of people that use things for bad. There's people that use the internet for bad. But we don't stop and shut down the internet. That would destroy everyone's lives. So what he says there makes absolutely no sense. And to go on, he loves to talk about China. He's talking about China saying they got it right. China banning Bitcoin, they got it right. And he wishes that we could just be more like China. Because China has never been wrong when they've banned something. They have never been wrong banning a technology or an innovation or a company and ever had it be successful and a great investment and something that bloomed into a massive company in the world. They've never been wrong about this type of thing. And it's not like China's a dictatorship, likes to control narratives and control everything and make sure that they have complete control over everything all the time. I don't know how he comes to conclusions with this. If he hates Bitcoin so much and he loves China and loves what they're doing, why doesn't he live in China? Then he doesn't have to worry about Bitcoin. It's banned. And he can enjoy the Chinese. They're just so good. But he won't do that. So, it's just so funny to see people constantly doing anything that they say. They're talking out of thin air. And it's ridiculous, the thing that he's saying and comparing. I mean, China as a tracker, every single thing China has banned has turned out to be a fantastic investment and grown to a massive company. Even on top of that, Charlie Munger goes on to admit that everything Bitcoiners are saying about the dollar is true, but he still hates Bitcoin. So not a lot of sense being made there. We can see it in this part of the interview. Just a quick clip here, just 18 seconds. So he basically says the dollar is going to zero.
Safe assumption for an investor is that over the next 100 years, the currency is going to zero. That's my working hypothesis.
Wow. Well, that'll be a different type of environment, won't it?
So he agrees dollar's going to zero, fiat's going to zero. It's faith backed. There's nothing backing it. There's no reason for it to have value other than we give it value. And it is trending to zero, and it has been for a while now. The dollar's lost 90 whatever percent of its purchasing power. But just look at this. This is the face of someone who hates Bitcoin, someone who hates crypto, that they can't imagine that Bitcoin has any value, but they do know that fiat's going to zero. So what comes after that? What, do you go back to gold? We're not going back to the gold standard. We're not going to go back in time. We're going to go forward in time and go with this innovation, with something that people can't censor, can't stop, can't control. So it is funny to see Charlie Munger saying fiat's going to zero, but being completely against Bitcoin, while having his, I guess, boss or chairman, whatever Warren Buffett is to him, investing in a bank that has Bitcoin exposure, while also hating on Bitcoin, but wanting to get exposure to it. So, but he says that he is so great that he didn't invest in crypto and Bitcoin and all this stuff. He's so grateful he didn't. But his fund return don't say that much. So Berkshire Hathaway stock, 5 years is 87% returns. I don't even think that beats the market. We'll see if what the S&P is for 5 years. Ethereum for 5 years, 23,000%. Bitcoin, 4,000%. So 87%, obviously not even close to what Ethereum and Bitcoin have done. Not even on the same playing field. So just, he's glad that he missed out on this, because he's this wealth guy, and the wealth transfer has to come from somewhere, and he is being that wealth transfer. He gets to stay in the old days. Well, everybody else moves forward in the world, and the wealth transfer happens, and now people who were rich no longer are rich. Their assets that they've held on to, their bank stocks and everything, not even holding a candle to Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto, and they're upset about it. So who could blame them? They're losing their power over money. And then just to quickly look at the S&P, we see basically 90% over the last 5 years, and they're at 87. So they didn't even beat the market. Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, they didn't even beat the S&P 500. Come on. You can't say that. You can't have that and say you're happy with your results when you can't even beat the market. Come on, Charlie. Are you going to hate Bitcoin when it is clearly smashing the market? Ethereum, smashing the market. You guys, under the market, not really competing with it. People were to just buy the S&P, they would have done better than trying to trust Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger with investing for them. So, just seems like they're stuck in the old days, the value investing days, which have been shown that they are pretty much gone. And just to wrap everything up, we can see Bitcoin's hash rate hit a new all-time high, almost 205 million tera hashes per second on the weekly average. And if we go to the raw value, we can see we had this massive spike, 188 to 248. Massive spikes. This was on probably that news of that oil company. It's a $120 billion oil company. It starts with, it's like Coconut something. They are mining Bitcoin with their gas flares. They announced that. Only a matter of time before every single oil company does this, because why not? It's a way that they can make money instead of losing money. So there'll probably be a lot more to come, and this is just the first one to actually go down that road. But A lot of things happening in Bitcoin. Charlie Munger hating it as per usual, and Bitcoin not caring. Doesn't matter. Crypto doesn't matter. We're not looking for Charlie Munger to come into the scene. Doesn't matter at all. So, and the hash rate doing fantastic. Oil companies starting to come in, mine Bitcoin, and everything just looking good for Bitcoin. So much free publicity recently, great ads going on, and Charlie Munger agreeing fiat's going to zero, and he is on the ride to go to zero with it, apparently. So we'll see how it all plays out. But as always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. See you in my next video.